I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping. Sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping, I'm sipping.
This is Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Get your fucking life together. And I'm in a situation room with Sa.
I'm in the building, yo.
With the yo-yos and all that.
With the yo-yos and all.
Oh, man, Sa, man.
What's up?
It's been a while since it's just been me and you on the pod, kicking it.
That's very true.
You had a hell of a run, but I missed you. I missed just talking shit to you.
I mean, on camera.
Yeah, that way. On the pod. Because
right.
a lot of these conversations that we had, we wind up reiterating on the pod with guests.
Right.
But I think they like to see us chop it once in a while.
I think the people like that too.
But what you been up to since the last time we did it like this?
Well, we just said every day is like a blur. So let me try to recap. Like that's kind of hard.
I mean,
we've been making it moving, making it moving and shaking. So we've been doing a lot of moves. I'm looking forward to some things that's about to happen, like South by Southwest.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But you got me. So I went to a dope showcase at Voltage that 1122 was a part of, and Will Styles from New York was, I believe, hosting. That was a real big deal for a lot of people. They had Empire Records, Rock Nation, and another label in the building too. So that was real dope. I enjoyed that. I met some nice artists from the city. Mm-hmm. Some execs, some A&Rs. We was working in there too. Yeah, so that was really good. That was cool.
Yeah, I slid through there for a little bit. I was a little late. I was in the studio that night.
You are.
I was in a session. Shout out to Ant Live, the logo. They was in there with me that night. Did good work though, so I was glad I was able to do both.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was surprised to see you. You surprised me.
But you said you got new surprises coming with the magazine, though.
I do. So moving forward, the magazine, we're definitely a digital magazine, but we're incorporating video, and we'll be on a scene near you. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna be definitely where everybody want to be. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely, that's exciting for you. And they get to see young Lisa Thomas Lori back in action.
I'll be back in action. I can't wait. It's been a minute since I've been doing it from that perspective. So I'm looking forward to that.
I could dig it. How you feel about this coronavirus shit?
Yo. So I feel like yesterday when they put out a warning that it's going to, be significant. They already knew, because today there was an alert that 83 people were in Long Island
being sequestered.
Like, come on now. Like, quarantine. Like, come on, dog. Like, nah.
And
so
another airport too, was it LAX or Atlanta airport? They found like 70 people or something. That possible, man, it's too much.
Yeah, so I got my mask on order.
I'm about to get a hella black, hella proud joint. I see Red got them, man.
Do we? I'm getting that joint. Pause. I got the other joints in the tuck though, just in case we need like mass amount of them. But I'm definitely getting that joint. Like, yo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it in style. Fuck that. I gotta be fly.
Yeah, I'm being style at first, depending on how long this shit lasts.
Right there, you gotta re-up. No, but it's crazy because it's like every couple years or every year, so it's a new epidemic that scares the fuck out of everybody.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. It's every 100 years to the 100th year that there is a massive epidemic that wipes out entire populations. So it's interesting from like I know I've seen some, it was 2020, 1920, 1820, and I believe 1620. I don't think I saw one for 720.
Damn it, I thought we was about to get over. I was about to say, we on the 20th year. We ain't on the 100th year.
Yeah, no. Every 100 years, dog. Damn. It was like the Spanish flu. It was a couple different things, but every 100 years.
Plagues and all of that shit.
All kinds of plagues, yeah.
Damn.
Right.
So it might be over?
Listen, it's already seeming like it's government constructed or some kind of way, because it's interesting that the medicine that combats it are the medicines that fight HIV and flu. So, and the strains they're saying are not natural. Like, it's definitely
modifications being made to this
or created. It's not even naturally created. Like, it's something that was, however, I can't really get to details, but I've been reading on it.
Well, I feel like the earth is overpopulated or damn near, so they be probably trying to figure out a way to clean. And so
that was another thing that I saw, that even if it wasn't necessarily government created or driven, maybe it's the earth naturally I guess cleaning itself.
All right, I've been saying something about that lately because we've been seeing a lot of major disasters. We've been seeing wildfires, natural disasters
In places that have never experienced them before. Sure.
But then you'll see stuff like in Australia where all that forest burned, all that land burnt. You see brand new growth. You'll see a fox feeding koalas. You know what I mean? And I feel like the earth take care of itself. It just might get us the fuck out the way because we built everywhere. So where the space is for them to heal themselves, we got houses there.
Right.
Because, after fire becomes brand new life and all of that, like it starts brand new. But if your house there, you got to go through the fire part.
Yo, I think about that every day. I thought about that on my way here because a deer ran in front of my house. And I'm like, you know what? I can't even be mad because.
You and his shit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even be mad at him.
His crib right behind yours.
His crib is my crib. I can't even.
Yeah, like y'all built right in the middle of where he was kicking it at.
So I couldn't even be mad at him.
Generations.
I couldn't even be mad at him.
But that's what it is. And it's like, I don't knock it. I know that most of the time in these neighborhoods, especially on this side, is you well to do when you live around that kind of stuff. And I don't think that everybody wants to live on top of each other and shouldn't have to.
Right.
I also think that some of the panic is that we know that we built too far and went too far, and naturally it's not going to last. But I really think the earth heals itself. It ain't went nowhere this long. Like, we just won't be here. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's
crazy.
True. I feel that. Yeah, it's real important. It's really interesting you said that too. Like, I know how we be talking, but where I live is kind of historic too, like in regards to like a lot of battles with like the Native Americans, and a lot of times I be like, sometimes I don't know if I be feeling this, like
about to say
feeling
the
the energy
is out there.
Yo, it's interesting. I be feeling like the energy sometimes, like it's crazy. Like I don't know, but maybe it's just because I know the history of.
Eddie Griffin said, if you follow the hurricane route, it's the same as the slave route. It's just an old slave man saying, "You motherfucker." Yo, Eddie Griffin was hilarious.
That's crazy though, ain't it though? Did he lie?
It seemed accurate, like at the time.
Where do they derive from? Where do hurricanes derive?
You say it. Don't quiz me.
Oh, Africa.
Okay.
The ocean after like I guess the Atlantic right there, and it travels
and
to
it
the
stops,
islands,
and it goes through the islands,
and then it comes north,
and then it hits the bottom of this shit where they let us off at.
Exactly.
That's why I said it seemed about right, but it was just like that's funny because you just kind of said that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You out there with them spirits. So what you be saging?
I want to. I haven't, but I be wanting to.
You gotta get your sage and your sea moss on.
Yo, you ain't never lied because the house I bought is for the house I bought. I was looking to see like the turnover, and it was like every 2 years somebody was like the house was getting sold. I'm like, what the only reason I got it,
joint.
The only reason I got it is because somebody was there for like 11 years. I was like, all right, cool. They had a run. So
scary movie pup.
Yeah,
we'll find out, man.
Listen, I do need to say that joke.
I just thought of a whole joke, but I'm gonna leave you alone. Anyway, what?
Nothing.
I'm about to say I didn't do it.
No, you didn't. You thought it though.
Like I did the shit when I ain't
did
the shit.
You thought it.
I did, and it was hilarious. It was a good moment.
To you.
But no. We was talking about earlier before we got on air. I was talking about how I saw a conversation when they were talking about, because we spoke on let's start where it started. Is LeBron and Zion the same as Kobe versus Mike or Kobe versus Brian and stuff like that?
Right.
And I was saying that I feel like
hold on, pause. Can we let the people know that I generated the question though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I said that.
Make sure,
that was your question.
No, you said we. Nah. I generated the sports question. I just want to.
The light skinned one said, was it the same? And I was saying, I guess for this generation, because what do they have to compare it to? It's like how we always say, well, I know he was great, but I wasn't there to watch that type of shit. So I guess for them it is, but it led me to a conversation I heard about greatest athlete of all time and things like that. And when you think about it, when it comes to basketball, they were saying their argument was that Jordan has to be the best, at least basketball player of all time, because of, like people always say, he dominated, but they were saying he dominated to the extent where you forgot about the other stars that was during his time to a certain extent or in a certain way in history. And I'm like, I can see that.
Right.
I can see that.
I also like the fact that he went over. I mean, I don't know how necessarily successful he was with it, but the fact that he transitioned over to baseball. I think that was kind of impressive. Was it golf too, or was it just baseball?
He always played golf. That was always one of his, hobbies.
He did that professionally though? No. But baseball, he went over.
Well, he gambled, so I guess you could call it professional.
Made money off it.
Right. He was making big dollars. I don't know if he was with it, but he was betting.
Right.
So yeah, but
Did he go to baseball though too?
Yeah. I've heard a few different stories about why he went to baseball. I remember at the time he said he couldn't run up and down a basketball court and not see his dad on the sideline because that was right after his dad had passed. Somebody else said David Stern had got the backstory to a lot of things that was going on with him that might have had to do with his father's death, and basically told him, like, just take a leave of absence so I won't have to suspend you. You see what I'm saying? Which is interesting. Very interesting. And I don't like to speculate about nobody's death, but it's just like either one could work if you know what I've always heard surrounding these situations. But like then you get into like, all right, what other sports have dominant athletes that had a long run of just killing?
What about Kenneth Griffey Jr.? Ken
Griffey Jr. was dope, but I don't know. I gotta look up how long he really dominated. He was always a great home run hitter, but how many championships did they win?
I don't know. When it's like he's just an athlete that when I was coming up, I always it stood out.
He always had a great pair of sneaks.
Maybe that's what it stood out.
Sometimes that helps too. You guys some fire footwear.
The branding of it all.
Hell yeah! But it was like, what you need? Lighter.
Lighter.
But it was like, who else? You go to golf. Tiger had a hell of a run.
Of course.
Hell of a run. Probably the most dominant.
I went golfing the other day, right? Some spot. I guess it was like indoor golfing. It wasn't outdoor. And it wasn't miniature. It was like, I don't know, like they have the cages, like golfing cages.
Okay.
And instead of Kobe, people be like Kobe. I was like Tiger. Right.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that. That's all we think about when we get golf clubs in our heads, Tiger Woods. Because everybody hashtag be something Woods.
So I can start saying my son's name because he about to be playing golf. I'm getting him in all them sports.
Why not? Shoot, golf. He probably gonna be in schools that had those sports available to him.
It's interesting because that's what I was going. We were talking about sports, and they have squash. So I heard that there are two sports that are kind of, I guess, directly related to business deals and making money during the sport, and that's golf and squash. And so I'm about to get them involved in squash. They have that at their school, so it's funny you said that because I didn't even know what squash was until they got there. And now every time I'm turning around, I'm behind this van that says squash sports, and I don't even be. I'll be in. I was at Broad Spring Garden behind a squash sports van. I'm like, all right, so they're around.
Yeah.
But I never knew what it was. It was probably because I was made aware. Once you learn something, you start
seeing it everywhere.
Exactly.
So you get to see somebody get a new car, you start seeing a
car everywhere. Exactly. But that's what I want to get them into. So, whatever they like, but
that was one of the things.
Something else I wanted to tell you too.
I learned about Roman that I kind of wish we had younger was that when I got to Roman, we had so many fucking sports.
Right.
And then it was JV and freshman for all of them. So it was like,
oh, that's dope.
You could always build up if you wasn't nice and you wanted to learn.
That's dope.
But I wish we would have had that. But go ahead, what you was about to say.
So what I wanted to tell you about that I'm super excited. So a friend of mine is the manager for DJ Sophia. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's an 11-year-old DJ who's doing some amazing things. She's actually DJing a whole basketball game at Madison Square Garden this weekend.
Dope.
Not just the halftime show, not every single moment of it. Dope. This 11-year-old is DJing. She was on Sweat. She was been doing amazing things.
That's what's up.
And so he has a DJ class for kids in the city, all ages, on Wednesdays. But he is going to teach my son how to DJ because CJ is into me. I told him about CJ. I just told him different things that CJ does, like how he plays games and he'd be like, Mom, you hear that beat in the game? He's like, so wait a minute, he's playing a game but he's listening to the beat. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, he's dope. Like, so he wants to teach him how to DJ, and Christopher's so excited. So yeah. I'm so excited for that. So I just wanted to tell you that because I know I thought you would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's ill because I went to the International DJ Cafe. Shout out to them. They have a cookout every summer in the park. And I went out there a couple times, and they had the directors of the school of DJing in the city there, and they had kids out there. And I mean, from like 5 to 15, and they was cutting up 80s and 90s break beats and shit like that. Like
Yo.
not even on no, you know what I mean?
Let me
it was
tell
crazy.
you, when I saw my homie yesterday and he showed me the video of his son is 3. His son was cutting Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
Baby Shark is probably ill to
Yo,
cut
his
up.
son was 3 years old and was killing that joint, yo. Like killing that
He gonna
joint.
drive somebody parent crazy, but it probably sound ill if you ain't had to listen to it a million times already.
Listen, his dad is with it. And the way I was,
of course.
Yo.
Why
I was
wouldn't
so
you let him
excited.
chop up Baby Shark?
Yo,
It's
I
something
was
you gonna wanna
so
chop.
excited. Yo.
That's dope. No, it's real. Like they learn so early, and it's like, shout out to DJ Freaky Free.
Shout out.
You know what I'm saying? He said one day he was just kicking it, probably napping or whatever, and he heard his turntable was on. He look up, his son over there. He like, oh, all right, let me get up and get over here with you for a minute, show you some things. You know what I mean? And it's like when they already interested, it's a layup.
That's what's up.
And they always need something to occupy their time, give them confidence, a hobby. You know what I mean? All of that stuff. So that helps.
Yeah.
That's incorporated. It's a major element in hip hop. So we will always respect the DJ. Shout out to all the DJs, man.
Shout out to the DJs.
For real.
What's that song last night? A DJ Saved My Life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you heard me?
That's funny. That's funny. DJ probably saved my life more than one way, man. On some real shit. Not the way she was talking about.
I mean, I'm just saying. You
I
know,
know.
it was very applicable at the time.
My club experience is different than yours.
And it should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's crazy because we be at the same table.
Right.
Different experience.
Totally. Completely.
Same bottle, different experience.
Can't with you.
Hilarious.
And I'm sipping with Sammie. Sip to that. You know what? I'm sipping with Sammie right now.
All right, we can
You know
drink to that. You know,
Drink to that, bro.
Let's drink to that. Now, I started off earlier asking you what you had new going on. One thing that I got going on that's not necessarily new, I'm going to tell the people, is I've been back in the booth, bitches.
Yeah, my bro been back, yo.
I've been back working last couple of weeks. I've been getting my hours in. I feel like getting back in shape. But I've been coming up with some shit, man. And then it made me remember the old shit that I didn't finish or forgot about since last time I was in the booth. So there's a project coming soon, man. Probably calling it Sippin'. Sippin' is the tentative title right now, but whole lot of fire on there. Dope ass features on there. It's gonna be fun like all of them because all I can't wait, bro. Have fun on my shit.
I can't wait. I know they can't wait either.
Ball, man. I've been riding
You
around.
have so much fun. I'm sorry to cut you off. You have so much fun when you perform. Yo, when I see you doing anything, like you tear everything up.
I appreciate that.
Yo, you always, your energy is just ridiculous. Like
that shit is like, it's like you don't know how many chances you gonna get to do that shit. You know what I mean? Like I love being on stage, but at the same time, it's like stage, backyard.
It don't matter where it's at.
Yeah,
you got the same energy. It don't matter.
Get crazy, and the reaction that you get is based on what you give. It's direct. If
That's
people
true.
see you
Direct
having
correlation.
it, they could be confused, but they'll turn up with you a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was up there, squad, you know, it'd go crazy. Shout out to Real Squad.
Real Squad.
But and that's another thing too. When you go around and you seeing people rocking and you see people that got the same type of focus you have in music, like they want to turn up, they want to have fun, and you see how motherfuckers go hard, you ain't got no excuse.
Right.
Everybody got a bad day, a headache, backache, all that
Tell me
shit.
about it.
Just figure it out.
Right.
Figure it out. But it's funny because talk about my guy Propane real quick. Let me see the lighter.
I believe you have it, bro.
You gave it back to me. We lost
Yes,
the
I
lighter.
did.
So we was at
Lighter down.
Chuck Alibi's for a glocawearradiostation show, and I'm standing there talking to Propane, and I'm like, we on stage, nobody in there yet. We setting up for the podcast just before you got there.
Okay.
And I'm like, bro, this might be the one stage in the city I ain't never fucking jump off of.
Right.
Cause that shit like
Yeah.
So he like, word, I know you jumped. I'm like, bro, I done been on this pup. I never now I'm definitely not doing it. But
Right.
even a few years back. So then he was like, all right, don't you know Propane get on stage and jumped off that motherfucker.
I saw that.
And when he landed, you heard it over the bass. I said, yo, he's a gangster. So I seen him.
Yo, that stage is tall.
Yeah.
That joint's like as tall as me probably. If it's like my height, yo.
So I posted a picture of him on the gram, and I'm like, you know, my guy, whatever. He like, yo, my fucking leg and my foot was hurting. all the next day. He said he couldn't walk.
Didn't you say he had an imprint of, what'd you say?
He said he had an imprint of his foot on the top of his shoe. He almost jumped through his sneaks, yo. And all I could think about was when Currency jumped off the stage and broke his foot trying to show the crowd love. And that's like my worst nightmare. And I'm only bringing him up because it's another example of somebody else that be turned. And like when you put it all out there, sometimes the next day you feel like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And it ain't, we older, but it ain't even always about that. Like you just be in your
older?
bag. I'm talking about me and him.
Oh, okay.
You are hilarious with this age thing on here. If they watch these every episode, they already know your age.
Listen.
They seen all your tricks.
You as young as you feel. That's all.
I mean, shit.
I'm
You,
still
in
a
that
young
case, you
whippersnapper.
are way younger than me.
Yes.
Because I'm old in the body.
I still be flipping around the house with the kids. Like,
Yeah. Time I had some kids, I'm at to pay somebody to roll around with them.
no, you will be rolling with them.
They gonna be pushing me. My stroller gonna be right next to their stroller.
I hate you.
I'm gonna get an automatic push so I can push theirs.
Oh, goodness. I hate you.
I'm serious. I'm gonna have fun, man. Rest in peace, my Uncle Lewis. We burying him 2 days. But he used to ride around. He called it his caddy. He had the motorized putt with the boom box on the back, and he used to be in front of the market hollering at all the chicks. Man, listen, you couldn't tell him shit, man.
Yeah.
He good. He good out here. No problems. Discount at the supermarket all day on them cashiers. You know what I mean? Let's have it.
That is too funny.
So I always figured, like, if I ever got
is too
bad,
funny.
I would just make the most out of it.
Yeah.
I make me a little CB4 joke.
Yo.
I'm having fog lights on my shit.
Yo. The one scene I remember the most from CB4 is so inappropriate, yo. Like, it's when the girl, she open her legs and be like,
Why does she always remember the smallest parts of things?
Yo,
That's the
because it was weird.
sound
Like,
effect in the movie.
because she thought it was cute. Like, all right,
That's
sure.
the smallest sound effect in the whole movie, though.
You probably don't even remember that part either.
I do remember that. I just watched CB4 recent. Once a year or something like that, you gotta like watch it, but you don't gotta watch it. Like it could be on, and because you already know what's going on. So then when you hear your part, you just look up.
Like once every 5 years.
Yeah, I'm obsessive about certain movies with comedies and certain gangster shit. Like I used to watch Scarface every Sunday.
Okay.
When I was in college, I used to clean my room, clean all my sneaks, and watch Scarface while everybody was still asleep because everybody sleep late.
Yeah, I can't. I've always been an early riser.
I get shit done though that way because when
Me
that
too.
dorm life, niggas be all in and out your
I
shit.
don't know. I'm so mad. I don't know nothing about the dorm life.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard.
I've definitely heard, but I wish I knew something about the dorm life.
It gets hectic though. It's
commuter.
cool like for sense of community, but like I had 20 homies in my building. 10 of them was up at all times. Nobody there's no way everybody's going to sleep.
Right.
So like niggas would be room hopping. And I had all the snacks, or I had the room where everybody wasn't at, so you could just go get low in there and just kick it. But then I'd be like,
you had the room nobody was at?
Yeah, my roommate used to go home every weekend, and I didn't have a video game. I didn't have no Xbox, no PlayStation, none of that. So niggas would always be in a room with the video games.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my room
I'm like,
was
you ain't had a room. You had a room.
My room was low.
Like that's almost like
it sound crazy, right?
Unfathomable.
Well, one thing people realize about me is I'm with a lot of people in the streets.
That's right.
I don't be having a lot of people in my
That's true.
space
I can definitely attest to that. You're right.
Yeah, like I run around and most of the time it's because I came with a couple and bumped into a few. But like when it comes to my crib,
you're right.
I like
say
to
that.
Just be in my crib and smoke.
Will agree with that. I will agree with that. I'll agree with that.
You've been in my crib. You probably somebody I burn with on a regular or something, or somebody I'm intimate with, something like that. Besides that, it ain't a lot of homeage in there. I don't be having the frat house like that.
Yeah, I can agree.
Won't make my joint the locker room.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah,
I feel that.
Damn. So what was it like? So you just commuted, right? Because you was at Temple.
I was at Temple.
So you was home.
I mean, that's where I rested my head. I was never home.
I know what you mean, but I wouldn't have stayed on campus if I went to Temple either.
But I wish, I mean, when I say all that, I also mean like the whole experience. Like I wish I went to HBCU, things like that. Like the whole experience.
Where would you have went? You had one on your radar?
I probably would have went to Howard.
Howard. Damn.
I know.
I had you for Clark or Spelman.
I mean, that would have been like a second, but no, I had all my family's in DC.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was going to college, like one of my family members was like running one of the hospital for the college or something like that.
So you ran into a support system.
Yeah. So if I didn't go to Temple, I'd have been set in DC. That's where legacy started. That's where my great grandpa started his newspaper. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, you would have liked it because you'd have been close enough to home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's one thing about Atlanta that might not have suited you. You kind of like, you so Philly.
I am.
Like being a plane away, it would have killed you.
Yeah. I agree.
Because I know you'd have had a car, so you'd have been fine because you had 20 cars in college.
Yeah, I had a car before. Yeah, I had a car right then. Yeah. Yeah, I had a car.
I was looking in the Clark, Morris Brown at the time before they had got their accreditation snatched. West Palm Beach University. Because my homies went there. I think that was the name of it. But I know that whatever the school name was, they dorms was like on the beach. Like they dorms was like
I would have never went to class. I wouldn't have graduated.
I was like, I'm going to just fill out for there just in case.
I would have never went.
But I applied to mostly all HBCUs, Coppin State, bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But everything was down south.
I suck.
And I got accepted to everywhere I applied to. Then I realized I didn't want to go far.
Yo, I suck. I applied to Temple on the last day possible. Like the last day applications was due. And I applied to Long Island University only because my cousin went there. And guess what? She left the year that I would have been going there anyway. So good thing I didn't go there.
Yeah, because if you was going there for that'd have been corny.
That'd have been dumb.
But like my thing, is
I'm glad Temple accepted me though, because I'd have been salty.
Is it still high application fees for applying to colleges like it used to be?
I'm sure it wouldn't have changed.
I mean, I'm sure what I'm calling high
tuition didn't change.
High to people, but $75, $100 to send something off just in case is a lot of fucking money. But I remember sometimes it was loopholes. Like some HBCUs didn't require one, so it was easier. Or some programs would help you; they'll pay for you to be able to. And it was easier for me to apply to all the HBCUs I wanted to go to than some of the more quote unquote prestigious universities because I had to pay $200 for them to fucking look at my name on the paper. Like,
yo, I'm thankful that Temple accepted me because I don't know what I would have did if they didn't. I'd have been salty.
You'd have figured something out. Even if you'd have had to do a little semester or two at community, you'd have bounced into something because and then you'd have probably wound up at Howard.
Probably would, but
you know how much difference a year make, like.
Yeah, but I stayed because I was at the newspaper, so I was helping my dad. So that was the whole reason for me staying. Like I used to leave. I was working for the newspaper since I was a young buck. When I was at camp at Temple, I used to go in the bathroom in the basement of McGonigal Hall.
I'm gonna put the commercial on this episode. I know. You keep playing with me. I'm gonna find it, and we gonna put that clip up of you and your brother at Water Fountain.
No, we was at Greenfield School.
Greenfield School.
Yeah, at like 22nd and Sansom.
I got to find that. Matter of fact, where is I need find that video.
I tried to look for it one time. I'm sure it's out there.
I've seen it. Not
the crazy thing is that it was on cable. It was on cable for years. Like I was grown and the commercial was still rolling.
How old was you in the commercial?
15. No, I was 15. I always look young. That baby face.
I just know you was young as hell in that.
Because Jimmy, he's 6 years younger than me. So yeah, he was about 8, he was like 8 or 9. I was like 15.
That commercial ran for a long time, and I ain't gonna lie. Like I kind of went through that, like recording a commercial when I was younger, and then it popped up later, and it was weird because with it being an NFL commercial and that campaign was over. I didn't think it would ever come back on.
Right.
So like I see, and I'm like, what the hell did I look like?
Right.
Like I want to see it now.
Right.
I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? I just want to see it. Like my mom probably still got all that shit.
I know. I'm mad I don't have it. I'm sure my dad probably has it somewhere. He got all his stuff still. My dad has it, but I do want to see that. But that was interesting. That was fun. Was that the first thing I was in? That technically was probably like the first thing on TV I was in. I think that was my first TV. Yeah. I don't think it was. I feel like I'm forgetting something because I feel like I was on TV before then. But that was the first commercial I was in, should I say.
You brought up a point that I tell people about college a lot of times. Like people always judge, well, you didn't graduate in 4 years, and you didn't graduate in this, and you didn't do this, and like by the time you get to college, you're an adult. Like real life shit happens, so you have to make real adult decisions. Like I'm gonna stay and help the family business,
right?
Or you know what I mean. I got a friend that said he would have went away to school, but his parents was going through something, and he didn't want to leave his sister in the house, and you know what I mean. So he stayed home so that he could balance that out. Like you got to be an adult, and sometimes you got to take a semester 2 off to go to work or to hold it down or whatever have you. So like I think that people need to realize that, especially because we come from a generation where a lot of our friends are the first generation to go to college, first ones in their family to go to college, maybe the second one, but their parents might not have necessarily went. So they just know 4 years,
Right.
and don't understand how
I
much.
ain't do 4. I tell you that it took me a little longer than 4, but I was working. Like I was working the whole entire time. My brother got killed. Like. You know, my senior year, so it was just a lot. Like, and
sometimes you got to take, you can't take a full schedule, even if you are active the whole time.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of things. Sometimes they don't even offer the class that you need, especially when you get to the end and you don't do it the right way. Like, it's a lot of things that make it happen. But, you know, I'm grateful that I did graduate when I graduated, and you know,
I'm on your heels. As soon as I get this bread,
listen,
I got you.
Listen, we doing what we do.
No, but part of the reason. Not the whole reason that I didn't finish it, but part of the reason was I went through a trauma too. You know that. And that type of stuff is what I mean about like real life happens, and not that you don't go through that before that, but when everything's on you. Right.
So what's crazy is I feel like you know, real stuff was happening. I had a few people pass when I was in high school, but I feel like I had the most of my friends start passing away. Start because it's still happening, but start passing away when I was in college. But I feel like the kids today is experiencing it younger.
Well, I mean, you got daycares losing kids.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was about to say. From babies being shot to, you know, teenagers. I feel like it's a shame, like how, you know, the impact that these kids are having.
The trauma that it's going to cause.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Because you really think about it, like we think that we forgot everything about our childhood. But at some point, you remember that one friend from where you was little.
Right.
You like, what happened to them?
Right.
And if it's any way that you remember what happened to that person, and it was bad like that, or you ask your parents and they, you know, inform you, which you know I'm not necessarily against.
And we had a loss when we were in middle school.
Lost a big one in middle school, man. Rest in peace to John.
Yeah, rest in peace to John. So we had a loss. You know, we experienced it. We experienced it at a young age too, so you know.
I learned a lot with that though, and it was traumatic for me. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm sure it was traumatic for you. We all knew and loved John and his family, like his entire family. Like
entire family.
But that was one of the first times I went to probably the first time I went to a young person's funeral, and you talking about a guy for backstory that was graduated the 8th grade.
You looked up to him.
He graduated the 8th grade and was about to go to the 9th grade. It was the summer before 9th grade for him. So he was on a football team, a track team, a basketball team, and all of that. And you looking at a small church full of kids in uniforms. And that's crazy because their teammate, you know what I mean? It's similar to like how I felt about not only just Kobe passing, but Gianna and all the other people that were on the helicopter, because they were all athletes, coaches, teachers. That means there's teams and schools of kids and support systems that lost some intricate part of what they were used to. And it just made me remember the Giants situation, because I was like, it was so many uniforms in there. You know what I mean? You had the track sweatsuits and the football jerseys and the basketball jerseys, and then watching his brother go through what he was going through and having to hold him down as a young man, because in his head, he didn't want to talk to adults because adults kept talking to him about things he didn't want to deal with. So it opened me up to realizing I had a responsibility as a friend when my homie loses somebody, which, you know, you don't think about that kind of shit. Like, it really changed a lot in my perspective now that we mentioning it. But that was hurtful. That hurt it. And I don't want kids going through that shit. But it seemed like in this city and a few others, is all that's going on.
It's rampant. Yeah.
You just got dark on me.
I'm sorry.
Got a drink. South got dark.
I'm sorry. We was talking about it. I mean,
gonna
it be real sometimes. You know, I always say in every episode that we in the mean streets of Philly. You know? And that just is what it is. And it's a shame, you know, and it's mean streets everywhere, but our reality is Philadelphia. And that's a shame.
Pennsylvania.
And that's a shame, you know.
It's amazing because I remember when people was glorifying it. It was all in all the records and interviews, and when people would talk in person, barbershops, whatever, like everybody know what it is with us, da 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 da. But as time goes on, sometimes, because it's been over 10 years of this nonsense of 300 bodies a year,
yeah.
Or as you mature, maybe you start realizing that you're living in a city where every year everybody's affected by a murder.
For sure.
Everybody, because we live in a city where 6 degrees of separation don't exist. It's about 3.
Like, for the average person, it's about 3.
It's about 3.
For the average person.
Yeah.
If you moving and shaking, it's probably 1.
1 or 2. Yeah. So like when you start talking in those terms, then that means that if you go through something, I go through something.
Right.
If your people's is going through something and you going through something, then I gotta hold you down.
Right.
Them 3 degrees don't go that far.
They don't.
You see what I'm saying? So everybody's affected, and like we said, so are the babies.
Right. But you know what? To brighten this a little bit, right? It's so funny you said that because I bet somebody, right? And you know, what's your IG? I was like, we don't have one person in common. Like, you from West Philly, and we don't have one person. Like, this is some weird. And I'm
male
like,
or female?
Male.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a young boy. He's younger. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like looking at his mom and dad, John. Like, none of us have nobody in common. Like, who are y'all? Like,
yo, you said you checked his mom and dad page. Like, I might know them.
I did. I'm like, nigga, how do I not know any of you? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I felt weird, and y'all from like 8 blocks that way. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, I had nobody in common with none of them. Like,
I ain't gonna lie.
That was weird. That's the first time it ever happened in life.
That's part of how I stayed safe when I was running around. If you know how, like, people know you be somewhere and they'll pull up, yo, I heard such and such.
All right.
If you could walk up to me sitting with these folks and nobody speak to you and shake your hand, like,
that's what I'm like.
We ain't got nothing to talk about.
I could, like,
I have nothing to say to you.
That's what I'm saying. If I don't know you, I might know your parents because you was younger than he's a young boy.
Yeah, but no.
I don't know none of y'all. Like, this is weird. Like, are y'all even real? Like, I'm like, I need to call him France. We come from France. Like, who are y'all? Like,
Coneheads? Yo, you are crazy.
That's one of my favorite movies. One of them. That's probably like my top 10.
But you gotta really think about it, because that's you left to your own devices. Now imagine you sitting around 4 of your folks that you know everybody, especially in your neighborhood.
Right.
Y'all could be at a local bar, park, whatever, and you just like, nobody knows you. Now in my circle, everybody around me know that if it's me, then you wait till I say something. So if they don't speak, I'm not even responding to you.
Right.
Like, go ahead. So it is scary because I can't remember the last person on IG, and I meet people from across the country or get follows from people from across the country. It's very rare that there's no one
in common.
It's at least a DJ or a radio station. Or
I'm sorry, I don't even accept people like on FB, like on Facebook. If I don't have one, first of all, I look at who we have in common all the time before I accept anybody. And if I don't even look at the people I have nothing in common with. I'm sorry, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, be that as it may, I might be missing out on something, but they'll message me or they'll find a way. If it's my contact information's on my pages, so if it's that deep, they'd reach out to me. But I'm definitely not even giving a look at anybody who I have nobody in common with. You
know what I had to start paying attention to that I never paid attention to before?
What's that? I'm on some old head shit in my head. I got something to say. Go ahead.
It's a joint called DM requests. And it'd be like people that you're not following or whatever, or that you never DM'd, I guess, that's trying to talk to you. And a lot of people be trying to book with me through that.
What's that on?
It's on Instagram.
Okay.
So you go in your DM, at the top of your DMs.
Oh yeah, I had that.
Like
yeah.
3 requests, 6 requests, like that.
I usually look at those because you can block, accept, deny, whatever. Yeah, I seen that.
Primary, general, all that.
Right.
So I realized I wasn't paying it no mind.
I do.
And I was, you know what it was? I be moving a lot, so my mind, bear with me. But I was looking at it like mentions.
Okay.
Because it kept changing. So I'm like, well, I already looked at it. You know what I mean? Like, I seen it already. I reposted it, whatever. I'm like, I guess it just ain't clear. And then I clicked on it one day, and I seen people that was trying to do business. And I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to check this, like, I guess once a week. I don't know. I ain't doing it every day.
It's funny because you said that because I just got one of those this week. And I think it might be some potential money with it. Like, so it's really funny you said that.
Trust and believe me. When I say I'm going to have to
I've been
start
communicating with the lady. I've been communicating with her. I've definitely been communicating with her.
It's been about
sometimes it be some shady people on there too, and I just blocked them. That's how the person that reached out to me that was trying to get me to be in the they reached out to me trying to be in the Illuminati. Like, are you interested in like, yo. I just did not.
What was you hashtagging that day?
Nothing. Like, I don't know where that shit came from. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know where it came from. It was really weird.
I'm gonna tell you what you need. You need you a Poe. I'm gonna tell you why you get you a Poe.
I do need a Poe.
Because when you get you a Poe, y'all double filter.
Mm-hmm.
You see something and it don't make sense.
Oh, I blocked that joint early.
You look at each other and you say, "Do this make sense to you?" Like, don't make sense to me neither. Like, all right, then we could chalk this one.
Right.
Without thinking we missing something.
Right.
But, like, you need, like, the double filter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I do need me a Poe in my life.
The double filter. Because, like, on some real shit, half of it goes to me, half of it goes to him. We always hit each other. Like, what's... like, we can't... Or you screenshot it, I hate to say, but it's business. You'll screenshot it and send it like you familiar with these people because you also don't know who's trying to get into your space and your energy.
Right.
So like every opportunity ain't just about money.
Right.
I'm not giving up my soul just for you to give up a couple dollars that I could get somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's part of the comfortability that me and you appreciate about how we are able to move around a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
It's never perfect, but we always know that we can get to something if we got to.
For sure.
That type of shit.
For sure.
Like, we ain't been up in a while. But we've been decent for a minute.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's something to
but
be
we've
said
been up
about
before,
that.
and I'm getting back to where I'm not. You feel me?
But I know how to get up just like you know how to get up.
For sure.
The only thing is, what you say, you just purchased a new house. You got kids that's doing big things. You got other things and priorities, and you still need some cushion because we accustomed to having a little kitty around. Need a little something for the kitty, a little something in the tuck. So, like, at the same time, you could do things.
Right.
As could I. I was just talking to somebody about that earlier.
Right. I'm
making a move soon. We gonna figure it out.
Big things are going.
Something light, man. So I'm gonna treat myself in a minute, man. Treat myself.
As you
It's been a while.
But listen, so we was talking about some real stuff earlier, right? So how do you feel about global warming? We haven't had snow this whole winter. No, we haven't had snow. So do you think we're going to get some snow?
I don't know if we're going to get snow.
I think it might be March,
now,
yo.
What I think about global warming takes me back to what I said earlier, man. The earth going to do what the fuck it do.
Agreed.
These places that's burning down gonna get some moisture from that shit. Then it's gonna all revert back, and then it'll be ice again. Like, I think it'll just whatever.
It's just weird that, like, I was complaining today. So I asked somebody, I was like, "How's it feel outside?" He's like, "Oh, a little chillier than yesterday." I was like, "Really? Like, dang, I thought it was gonna be as warm." I'm like, "But look at me complaining. It's wintertime and I'm complaining." I was like, "Well, chuck it up. Like, you good."
No, yeah.
You know, because we got a lot of rain, but at least it ain't snow. But that's just interesting. Like, I'm wearing, I ain't even coming with my jacket on. Like, I don't have a jacket. It's the winter. Like, don't even have a jacket on.
But that's scary to me, but I'm not going to complain about it either.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
And I ain't going to lie. Part of it is, when we first started Fly Day, all the worst weather of the week would be on Fly Day.
Yo.
We caught
I remember
every
that.
snow, every rain.
My first time coming to snow. I remember my first time snowing.
Days. We caught every part of the worst parts of weather. And it was the one day that I had to go somewhere, make it there on time, consistently, and be pleasurable.
Right.
Like, it's
like
different.
You ain't just come through the trenches.
Like, I gotta entertain people, and I just went through hell, get off the radio in the snow, see that I got a flat on the wagon.
Right.
Life was crazy.
I just want to say shout out to Glocawear. Yo, I love Glocawear. I love Tuke. I love everybody that's involved with Glocawear. They like always support, like, to 1,000%. That's not even like possible. That's how much they support. Like,
well, like I say, man, when you know that you got shit going for yourself, when you know what you're going to do, it's not hard to be selfless. It's not hard to help other people that you see things in. And that's why I appreciate that shout out, because Toop been 100 since I met him.
Since I met him as well.
He hasn't told me no yet.
That's good.
And he does things that I don't ask him to do, and when I find out about it, it's beautiful. So
yo, Took, I ain't asked for nothing yet, but I hope I can say the same thing. Like I know Took would never tell me no either.
No, but Took pays attention, man.
He's a shout out to Took.
He's a dope dude. But definitely, since we hollering at glocawear, shout out to glocawear. But holla at the G Shop, 4933 Old York Road.
Old York Road. You
can get all your merch up. They got everything: screen printing, vinyl, embroidery, whatever. You got an idea, Took will make it happen. You need a logo design, Took will make it happen. It's all for a price, but it's a nice price because Took ain't about no bullshit.
Yeah,
he
just
about
how
business.
selfless he is.
He about
just want to see everybody win, yo.
So definitely check out my folks at glocawear. And since we here, check me out every Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Best happy hour in the world on the greatest station in the nation.
I know that's right.
Tune in on YouTube Live for now, when you can see what the logo got on every Friday. See why we call him the motherfucking logo. He in the cut right now. I should make him model right now. Seriously though.
Yeah.
But that's what we talk about good environments, networking spaces, good rooms. Shout out to the Coalition DJs. They had an event last night. DJ Alamo hit us up.
I heard about that event.
Hit everybody up and said, yo, say slide. One thing about the homie Alamo, ever since I've been around him, he's been trying to keep us in tune with what's going on, and we've been able to do good business together. So I respect and salute him and the Coalition DJs. They deep as fuck. They pull up when the pulling, like when they having something, they be there like a bike club. They be deep. And that's dope, because as an artist, when they having these things and they let artists showcase their music, you're in front of 20, 30 DJs at a time.
Right.
And that's beautiful. So shout out to them for the event they had last night, because even though it ended earlier than the flyer said, which meant that I came later than I thought I was going to be there.
A little more time.
Yeah, but I saw some people I needed to see.
Well, that's always what's up.
I met some people that I feel like is going to be beneficial to know.
Well, that's good.
And I took some good flicks for the memories, because that's part of why I'm so big on like just flicks of us as groups, and flicks that we don't plan for and things like that, because it's like those are the ones you're going to look back on and be like, remember back then we thought we was doing something? And now niggas is really doing some shit.
Speaking of that, we was taking them flicks that you had that you shouted my homegirl out about. My homegirl Shay.
Shout out Shay, man.
But I was just saying that shout out to my homie Shay. But no, we flicked it up that day. We created something. We got videos. Yo, we had a good time.
Shout out to Ivy Leaf, because they been loving them pics.
Yo.
I see so many likes I get from that family, and that's the thing. Like, that's a family, and that's what we spoke towards the last time we were speaking on, and it was just one-on-one. Was that family, that unit, and Shay's part of that.
She sure is. There's a lot of people that have been commenting, and it's interesting because we want to get together. And I think that's special that, like, we've grown up since elementary and middle school together, and we grown, and we still have the same love for each other. You know, we all want to see each other win, and we actually trying to get together and have a little basement party like we used to do back in the day.
And you know what's funny about that? Because we could do anything. And you know, when y'all said we should all get together, my mind started racing, because I got access to quite a bit of venues and things. So I'm thinking like, oh, how we want to do it. And then y'all said a basement party like the Brookses used to. And I'm like, oh, that's how we got to do it. That's going to be lit. Yo, no selfie party.
That would be dope.
That would be ill. We gotta take it back to the old school.
That would be dope.
Fuck you mean? We gonna get a photographer.
I was about to say,
if he don't take the picture, you don't take the picture.
And we gonna have a fucking backdrop.
Yeah, we gonna get the backdrop.
Fucking 90s joint.
I'm getting an airbrush Sammie pup for that joint.
Listen, me too. Me too.
No, but I think that would be ill. And
they used to call me Snow White back then.
Part of what I was gonna say,
Ms. Nichols.
Shout out Miss Nichols.
Shout out to Miss Nichols.
She on my Facebook too.
Mine too.
But part of what I was gonna say about what you said is, like, we all have a mutual respect and a camaraderie that comes from what they built. Mm-hmm. Like, we can always say how much they taught us and all of that, and we usually think about like Black history and pride.
but it's about more about principles.
Part of that is
it's about
community.
Exactly. It's
Right.
about community. It's about the principles. It's about how to carry yourself, how to treat each other, how to have aspirations, how to dream, how to, just the rites of passage. What I really loved, I always talk about the rites of passage that y'all young men went through.
Always say that.
Because I never even heard of it before then. And I still to this day really haven't heard many other organizations that do it though.
I just saw somebody make national news for a program that looks just like rites of passage. And all I was thinking was, that's crazy.
Did he go to Ivy Leaf?
No, like not even, it was a different name, different town. But I'm just like, people are going viral for stuff that our mentors did for us over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm 37. I was in rites of passage when I was 12, 13, and 11, 12, and 13.
Right.
Or 12, 13, and 14. Something like that.
11, 12, and 13.
It's 7th and 8th or 6th, 7th, and 8th, something like that.
Right.
But we learned a lot. And fast forward later in life, I wound up cooking. I remember they bought the chef stool, bunch of black males, and they made us all type of hamburgers and just, stuff that would pique the interest of young black men. But I came from a family where men cook. But that also was like, well, these men in the house, these are chefs.
Right.
It's possible.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? All of that shit matters. But that's why I'm going to keep talking to the youth. You going to keep talking to the youth.
Sure. It's definitely a
priority.
priority.
Keep figuring some things out. Shout out my man Lito from the Takeover Files.
Shout out to Lito.
Big supporter of the Sippin' with Sammie podcast.
Shout out to Lito.
He has a couple opportunities coming up for us to be able to talk to the kids very soon. And probably get a live pod going with the kids. So that'll be dope.
Yeah, it's definitely dope.
That'll be dope with within the restrictions and the boundaries that make sense for them being children. And I'm not talking about the drinking. I'm talking about I don't want to put a bunch of people's children on camera without permission. But the opportunities are there because they're interested in this. They want to learn how to do this.
I know.
Your peers want to learn how to do this. You think they don't?
I know. I got a homie that is actually leading the programs at the school district. The school district has an amazing studio that's funded by, I believe, it's either, I don't want to say which one, Comcast or WHYYY, but it's amazing. Like, it is ridiculous. The same one that has the DJ classes. Yo, it is tough. And they have a lot of programs that they're a part of, like within all the high schools. Like the students use these state-of-the-art studios. And I just want to shout out to Mark because he's doing an amazing thing with the students in the city. Like, amazing.
Mark is vague.
Mark Holly at PSTV, holla at you at the school district's studio. I mean, that's what I can put this whole joint out there.
No, I mean, I just wanted to make sure because that's important. That goes along with all the things we've been saying about our development and what we've learned throughout our processes, like access, access, options. Everybody went to the rec center not because they wanted to play ball or jump rope, but because it was nowhere else to go but the rec center, and there was people there.
Right.
If we had other options, then people would go somewhere and paint. People would go somewhere and do poetry. People would go somewhere and meditate.
And all the programs, the school district has programs for all of the students in the city. All you have to do is live in the city, and they have programs in their studio that's accessible for, like I said, it's state-of-the-art equipment from music to videography, sound.
And take advantage of it before they have an excuse not to do it again or not to upgrade it or whatever. Please take advantage because we know how this system works. We seen what Kevin Hart did for the city. We seen how they protected his investment or lack thereof, and he had to do it again. When we have these resources, when we have people and programs that are working hard to put things in place, we need to make sure that we benefit from them for our children. Because that's what it comes down to. Like, your child's not going to drive themselves to the program.
Right.
They're not going to give themselves bus fare to get to the program. We have to put these things in motion for our legacies.
For sure. It's I always talk about it's really important, and half the issue is resource and access, right? So that's what's like, once you can acquire that, that's more than half the battle. So
and that's what we've always been thankful for. Even before the school we have in common comes the commonality of how our family raised us.
Right.
They put us in positions where we had to be in diverse situations often. We had to be accountable for how we handle things in different environments.
Right.
But
I've been in rooms since I was a child, like rooms since I was a child. And it's because my dad raised me and he didn't have a babysitter, so I had to sit in them rooms. You know what I mean?
I was alluding to the rooms,
like,
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've had to be in those rooms. and you've had to learn. And mine goes even further to like the family business being a barbershop.
Right.
You're taught to listen before you speak. You're taught to learn, that you learn more from listening than you do talking, at a time in life where kids are just talking and people are just happy that they're talking.
Right.
But I spent the whole day around
right.
grown men. You see what I'm saying? So when they start talking about something, I don't know what they talk about. And they want to entertain me, and they'll engage you, but it's a speak when spoken to type of thing.
Right.
And it's not
because they don't know that. They don't know that.
Yeah, nowadays that's looked at as devaluing the child. No, this is part of my learning process. When people say, well, you could talk to everybody and you have these conversational skills, that comes from being in a barbershop with everything from a judge to a drug dealer and everybody getting along and talking about similar things and figuring out that everybody's not going to think like you, but we all have a common ground. If somebody say, so what you thought about the Eagles game, everybody's going to speak.
Exactly.
But everybody's valid
to
a certain extent. And then in barbershop rules, you got the floor until you burn that bridge. Right. Once you say some shit that's like, oh, man, we ain't even talking to him no more.
Right.
It's like because you don't know what you're talking about. Not because you don't have an equal voice, because of social standing. So that teaches you about life. But the first thing it taught you was shut the fuck up and wait till somebody give you some money for the vending machine. Right. But nah, this been a dope episode. It's definitely been dope kicking it with my sis.
It has been.
My homie.
It has been.
Fucking fuck with you heavy.
Yo, right back at you. Yo, I can't wait. Yo, I'm ready to just.
I'm about to have a ball.
Yo.
About to be in Austin or some shit.
Yo,
acting crazy.
Just that too. I'm just ready to go. Let's go.
Why not, man? But let everybody know where it's at.
So you already know you can find me on the scene at onthescenemagazine.com. You can find me on IG at SunnyBrick and on all platforms at On The Scene Magazine. Holla at me.
Word. I'm Sipping with Sammie. So on Instagram, I'm at Sipping with Sammie. On Flyboy Friday Radio, on glocawearradiostation, I'm at Sipping with Sammie. On the Sipping with Sammie podcast that drops every Thursday at 4 p.m. at happy hour, just in case you ain't know. I'm Sipping with Sammie.
Oh.
Sipping with Sammie, Barstool rule. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Get your fucking life together.
Get it right, bro.
And keep your ears and eyes open, man. I got some fire coming for y'all. Whole lot of dope shit that's going to follow. And we got a live podcast coming soon. We're going to have a live broadcast for y'all. We're going to need a couple vendors that I foresee. We might need, we're going to need a DJ. We might need a food situation. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a networking event. And I'm going to give people some space to speak and get their voice heard and also get on a platform that haven't been able to catch up with us. So make sure you keep your eyes and ears open for that too, because that's going to be fun as fuck and it's going to become a regular thing. Hopefully we can do it quarterly, if not monthly, because I like that crazy. It's been another episode of Sipping with Sammie. I am Sipping with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Get your fucking life together. And that's it.
Oh, we out this joint.
Oh.
Ay, get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Yeah. Get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Fuck the talking, get a bag. Yeah. Get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag.
Big shit talking big bags, big bottles, real cash. Uptown is all for the high. Not a soda nigga, don't fuck with swag. No juice either, like my shit straight. Baby, we can smoke all night. Turn the lights off and dogfight. Make the red lights look like fog light. That's Tuesday night with your life like. This Sammie's world got a big wheel. Independent running to get it till I get the turn down big deal. You have no clue how big feel. Your bitch do, I lend thrills. Hip hurt, her side too. How you can tell she had a side dude. Smile different when I slide through. Beg for more when I slide out. Just dried off, let's try 'em out. When this back burn out, I'm out. Full press with no time out. Down the back steps, then I'm out. Light another one, pour another shot. Turn the same up, then say about life.
Get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Yeah. Get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Fuck the talking, get a bag. Yeah. Get a bag, get a bag. Yeah. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Run it up. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag. Bad bitches on. All these niggas run me, now my homies get a bag. Watch a mini on your sack. Lately I've been swerving fake and phonies. Keep the A1s with me. Switch lanes, switch sides on me, nigga. Switched up, sit right with me. That type of shit don't sit right with me. I'm a good sissy girl. I don't cherish all the perishables. Whole vibe done died, yeah. Try to slide with the squad, yeah. Flip mode, but I bust rhymes that time, never on turkey time. Every time on the line with the homies, phone time. Never get my own time. Rhyme mode, prime time, touchdown. See me up, hoes won't be down now. I ain't got time. Jordan number 9s, bomb number 9. Phone jumping like a party hotline. Need mines, I ain't tryna compromise. From a city where you get lined up, gotta level up, fucking go and get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag.
I need that bag so bad. Got me itching on my hands. Got me scratching like a fiend. For that green, I'm Mr. Clean. How my bitches mop the scene. Cause them tricks, they made it rain. At the window for the pain. When you broke and feel insane. Doing dumb shit for the name. Fuck around and get a name. It be tatted on their arm. It be printed on the shirt. When you hustle, make it hurt. My feet tied, back hurt. Found some time to lift a skirt. Pressing nothing, keep it moving. All that talking I ain't doing. How you talking when you losing? Common sense, it ain't common. Cause all we know is fucking drama. But it ain't about all that bullshit. Let's be talking about this money. And you ain't talking about that money. Got these niggas looking dummy.
Get a bag, get a bag. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Niggas hatin', get a bag. Get a bag, get a bag. Fuck the talking, get a bag.